Hey guys, here boy Manny here once again. Welcome to DFS Zone, your source for daily fantasy sports lineups for the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball. Before I continue on with the video, guys, I'd appreciate a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and make sure you turn on your notifications. This way you do not lose out on any of my new uploads. With that being said, today is March the 22nd, 2018. And before I give you the stud 5 of the day today, I would like to recap the stud 5 from yesterday, March 21st, as well as some of my results. As you see here on the screen, I have two of my results. I played in this, this is the 5K for first place, small little main event slate, and I cashed on both of these lineups here. I have a 309.80 on the left here, finishing 1,461st place, and over here I finish in 1,242nd place, a little better, with a 312. As you can see, my stud 5, let's just recap the stud 5. I gave you guys yesterday Kyle Lowry, Darren Collison, Willie Barton, Wilson Chandler, and of course Mr. Dwight Howard. Obviously, out of the 5, the stud of the day was Mr. Howard with a monster game of 63.5 points. He had 10 field goals, 30, again, 30 rebounds. I mean, that is amazing. Incredible game for Dwight Howard. 30 rebounds. He had 12 free throws. He hit 12 free throws. He had 1 assist. He did have 6 turnovers, though. It would have gave us a little bit more points there. It would have put us at about 69, almost 70. But a heck of a game for Howard. Everybody else did okay. Not as good as I expected. Collison was really the dud out of the stud 5 lineup. He finished with 22.6. He had 4 field goals, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. He did have 1 steal. He had 2 3-pointers, but he had 4 big turnovers, and he just did not shoot well at all yesterday. Kyle Lowry was probably the second best player in the lineup of the stud 5. He put up a 39-3, 7 field goals, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. He did have 6 big 3-pointers. And another thing to point out, he had no turnovers. No turnovers at all in a game of 132, 129. That's incredible. Great job by Kyle Lowry. Willie Barton, disappointing. He was definitely about a negative. I would say he's about, he definitely was a 29.1. I mean, I expected like 35, 40 out of this game from him, but it didn't happen. He was a -7 or 8 here as far as value. He had 7 field goals, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, 2 3-pointers. I expected a better game, but like I had also told you guys in my video yesterday when I was giving you the stud 5, my only concern with this game was the potential of it being a blowout, and that's exactly what happened. And obviously, Mr. Barton didn't need to be on the court as much as he needed to, and that same thing with Wilson Chandler. That's why I did have them in other lineups with other players. And I actually had other lineups besides this. As you can see, I have 2 more here that didn't cash out of the 4. Not a good game for Barton. That's it, plain and simple. This is DFS. You take a risk here once in a while, especially in the GPP. He's a good GPP play because he can, he has a lot of upside. Same thing with Wilson Chandler. So I went with them. My gut told me to go with them, and I went with them. But then again, I pretty much circled them around other guys that I thought might be able to have big games. Lou Will finally came through with a nice game here, and so did Josh Richardson, which I had also recommended. That he was one of my choices for the night, as well as James Johnson. Johnson didn't have as good a bigger game as Richardson, but not too bad. And I did mention Thaddeus Young to you guys yesterday as a potential, and I did use him in my lineups, as you can see, in both lineups. But overall, the disappointment was definitely Collison and Barton. Wilson Chandler was about pretty much, he was pretty much at even, value. And of course, Mr. Howard was the big stud out of the 5. Nothing we can do. We just move on, get prepared for today. And there were some guys that had some great games throughout the whole league. I'm not going to go over those today, to make the video shorter, because yesterday the video was kind of long. But that's pretty much where we stand as far as the stud 5. I did have another a game. Let me go back here. I wanted to share with you guys. I did cash at a $500 first place tournament, whereas I had finished in 6th place with a nice score. Let me just get this to open up. As you can see here on the screen, I got a 327. It was actually my best score of the night, and I finished in sixth. And I pulled out here 327.70. The winning score was 341, and we pretty much had the same lineup. As anytime you play these small slates, where there's only 2 games or something like that, you're gonna have obviously, a lot of ties. And here, pretty much the difference here between myself and this other gentleman, or it was James Johnson. I had James Johnson while he had Hollis Jefferson, and then I had Lamb and he had Beasley. Everything else we pretty much had the same. We both thought the same way with Burke and Kimber Walker. We chose them. We did take Russell and Levert. I decided to stack up with the Brooklyn guys there, and they did all right, and he happened to do the same thing. And then, I decided to stack up with the Miami guys over here where he didn't. He went with Brooklyn. I was thinking of Hollis Jefferson. I was thinking of making another lineup. I didn't. But nonetheless, still, I pulled out this one. I finished in sixth place. So, again, it's all about 300s, like I always say, and it's always about giving yourself the best chance to get the best score. And if you could get 300 or better, guys, you're gonna have a shot every single night. So that's what I aim for. Anyway, but that's pretty much the recap. So let's just go and dive into the stud 5 for today. I'm gonna go to the lobby right in front of you guys and choose one of the 5K events for tonight. We'll go right to it here. We got the after hours already set up, the express, so I'm going to play that as well, because I play every slate. Alright, I play every slate. We're going to go right here to the 5K. Try to nail down this 5K. Nice 6-game slate. I already did all the research, and I have my guys that I think will be just perfect for you guys today. And going to start off with the stud 5 today. We're going to go right to the point guard position. I actually have a stud in every position today. It's the first time in about a week that I've been able to, that I really feel good about the 5 that I chose, and I was able to choose one from every position. So at point guard, my first guy is going to be Mr. Ricky Rubio for Dallas. He has put up 36, 38, 49 over the last 3 games. And in his last 4 games against Dallas, he's put up 24, 40, 43, and 44 fantasy points. So he's really in a very, very good position. And on top of that, he's playing against a team that's really struggling against point guards as well. They're 21st in fantasy points allowed. They're 15th in the middle of the pack of the league in fantasy points per minute. They give up. They're 25th in the league in rebounds, as well as in field goals. They're 21st. And allowing field goals and 2-point field goals in the games. They're 11th in assists and 29th against 3-pointers. And this is a good situation for Ricky Rubio, other than they're a pretty good team defending against the assists, where Rubio is a specialist at. But I still think that overall, Dallas is about 23rd, 24th in the league against defending the point. And Rubio's just playing so well right now that I just really like him in this matchup. I really think he's going to do really well here. Overall, Utah is just playing, awesome as a team right now. They really are a scary and a fun team to watch. They really defend well. So this is going to be a good game for Ricky Rubio. I would say pencil him in as your point guard, as one of your point guards today. I think he's going to really do well. My next stud for today is at shooting guard, and I'm going to go with Mr. Buddy Hield. Buddy is going to have a heck of a game today. He's playing against Atlanta at home, and he's been spectacular. I mean, as of late, he has pretty much just had 5 out of his last 6 games. He has hit value or better. So Buddy is playing excellent basketball right now. And then his last game, which is his only game against Atlanta this year, he put up 31. Nice big 31 fantasy points against them. So he's in a good position. Not only that, shooting guards for Atlanta, they're having trouble there as well. 25th in the league in fantasy points per minute, 29th in rebounds. They're 21st against allowing assists by shooting guards in games. They're 18th, as far as allowing 3-pointers. And they also the only thing that they're really good at is under the baskets, under the paint. They're 8th in the league defending that against shooting guards. But Mr. Buddy likes to shoot from the outside. He likes to penetrate and make things happen. I don't see, where this is going to be a factor with Atlanta, only having one area that they really defend well against. So I see Buddy having a big game here for the Sacramento Kings. So I would say pencil him in. Right now you got Rubio and Heed. Center, small forward, I like Mr. Prince. Mr. Prince, good spot here against Sacramento, in Sacramento, but he's been everything that Atlanta needs. Now that Mr. Schroeder is back and he's playing well as well. Now they got two guys there that can play, they can really ball tonight. But he has put up 40-point games in four out of his last 5 games. He's put 40-plus points, and his last time they played Sacramento, he put up 42. So all that is a good sign. And Sacramento obviously is not that good defending, against small forwards. Sacramento is right now 20th in fantasy points allowed. They're 23rd in the 24th in the league defending the small forwards in general. Fantasy points per minute, they're 19th. In rebounds, they're 23rd in the league. They're also 26th in assists, and they're very vulnerable to the three-point shot. Not one of Mr. Prince's specialties, but all indications show that Tyron Prince should have a good game against Sacramento. I say pencil him in. I love the matchup. I think he's going to do well here for the Atlanta Hawks. My 4th stud is in the power forward position, and I like Mr. Julius Randle for the Lakers at New Orleans, against New Orleans. With New Orleans, we know they score a lot of points, but they give up a lot of points too. This is going to be a good-ass game. I mean, you got both of these teams. They move up and down the court. They like playing it pretty much in a fast pace. Julius Randle loves the physical game. I just love his game in general. He just loves to get busy. He likes to do all the dirty work, and I think he's going to get dirty tonight. He, in his last 5 games, he's put up 38, 45, 35, 40, 68. All those numbers are rounded off, of course, but monster numbers last 5 games. And he did put up 29, which is a low number compared to the 5 he put up to the last game. But the last time he played him was about a month and a half back. He put up 29 against New Orleans. I think he's going to put up a 40 spot or better today. I would say pencil him in as your 4th stud. New Orleans Pelicans, they struggle against fantasy points, 26 in the league against fantasy points allowed against power forwards. They're 20th in fantasy points per minute, 24th in rebounds, where Randle is very physical at. 26 points, 26th in the league in points allowed per basket. So in other words, Mr. Randle's going to have a field day underneath, especially that they're weak against the rebound against a power forward like Mr. Randle, who's very physical and likes to get up and get dirty and get those rebounds and put them back. I see this as a big game for Randle. So I would say definitely he's in a good spot here, guys. Consider Julius Randle as your 4th stud. 5th stud of the game of the day today is going to be Mr. Dwayne Dedmon. I like Mr. Dedmon at Sacramento, against Sacramento. For Atlanta, Sacramento is terrible against the centers. Mr. Stein has been pitiful as of late. You can very easily say to yourself, I will go with Willie Cauley-Stein over Mr. Dedmon, but Dedmon has been playing really, really well lately. His last 2 games, he's put up 46 and 30. The last time he played against Sacramento, he put up 56 big fantasy points. And like I said, Stein is not a good defender. I think Dedmon is in a good spot here, and if we need Dedmon and Mr. Prince and Schroeder to perform well today for this game to go the distance. I think because Atlanta and Sacramento kind of almost balance out as far as teams are concerned, as far as each team is. I think that this game is going to be a fairly close game in Sacramento. Like I said before in previous videos, Sacramento is very scrappy at home. So this is a good spot for this not to be a blowout in favoring either Atlanta or Sacramento. I think this is going to be a game where Mr. Dedmon and the Atlanta Hawks can stay close, and that's why I have 2 Hawks in my lineup today. And he's my 5th guy. Like I said before, good positions. Everyone here pretty much statistically, it looks all good on paper. So there goes to stud 5 for today, guys. You got Ricky Rubio, Buddy Hield, Tyron Prince, Julius Randle, and Dwayne Dedmon. And I hope everybody is able to round these guys off. You got plenty of room here for 6,200 left to be able to finalize and make these lineups nice and strong. I already see a couple of guys here that I really like. I'm going to go over right now. Let's do that like I always do. Is give you a couple of guys that I think are pretty interesting. Of course, like I mentioned before, Schroeder is a good option here. He's playing against Sacramento. Sacramento is 22nd, 19th in the league in fantasy points against point guards, 24th in rebounds. They are a little strong in the 2-point in the paint against point guards, but they are 16th vulnerable in the league, allowing assists by point guards. And then, of course, they're 24th, pretty bad, where Schroeder likes to shoot up a couple of threes as well. So it's a good position for him to be in. I think he's a good option today. Other than Rubio, you could always go with Kemba Walker, who played last night. He's a good option as well. He's facing a team that's a little bit better defensively in field goals and the paint, as well as in assists, and as well as defending in fantasy points. And in general, point guards, Memphis is pretty decent there. The only vulnerability they have is to the three-pointer. I see here they're 25th in the league in three-pointers allowed by point guards. So, and Mr. Walker likes to shoot the three as well, so that might be an area that he may have some success. I would say value plays, you can't go with Rondo tonight. You can, but of course, he had a stinker last night after he put that 55 the other day. That's why I tell you, he's a Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know who you're going to get with Rondo, but you got JJ Barrera, you got Yogi. Yogi's in a good spot. I mean, Utah is tough to go up against Utah. I mean, that's one of the teams that I try to avoid putting guys on the line against is Utah, because they're pretty good defensively in almost every position. Not too many guys. I mean, if I would say it would be Schroeder, Kemba Walker for the studs. Budget guys, I would say you could consider Barrera or Yogi, maybe even Ish Smith. But that's about it. Ian Clark has been doing pretty well, but I just don't see any other strong candidates here in my mind. I know I'm going to definitely choose somebody down in the bottom. I'll probably favor Barrera, Fox, or maybe Mr. Farrell or Ian Clark. I would think those four. Shooting guard, obviously you could always go with the stud and Harden. If you could fit them in, you can definitely eliminate one or two of the guys here and get Harden in. I mean, there is value. I see it. I know that I'm going to make more than one lineup. I just say that these are my 5 core studs that I think are the best plays for the day. But Harden is in play. Holiday is in play, for shooting guard. Donovan Mitchell is in play. I like Buddy, as you know. Pope is in play. On the lower end, I like Luke Kennard here. He might be in some of my lineups. And that's pretty much it. I don't see anything else. Small forward, good value plays. I mean, Engels is in a good spot. Lamb, I like Lamb here. Barnes is pretty consistent. He's definitely a good cash play. You may consider Ariza here against Detroit. I like Dylan Brooks here against Charlotte. I think that's a good spot for Dylan. 4,800 is not a bad value play there. And maybe Dwayne Bacon. I have to look to see here. Bacon. He got 22 and 27 minutes. 10 minutes is not putting up a whole lot of points. That's basically it. I would say Bullock, Covington, Lamb, Engels, and lower end I would say Brooks or Ariza are pretty much the only ones I would think that I would have an interest in. Power forward, we know Anthony is a stud. He's going to be in a good spot here. Anthony is playing. I mean, you can put him against LA. This is a good spot for him. I mean, I very easily will have him in one of my lineups. I'm going to find him in the area here, because with LA, he's going to definitely should dominate. LA is pretty poor at power forward, even though he might just fall into doing a lot of center duties. He's probably going to have to deal with Mr. Randall. But 27th in fantasy points, LA is 29th in the league in fantasy points per minute, 28th, probably near the bottom, very bottom of the actual defense against rebounding. In the paint, they're 16th, which is middle of the league, and 19th in 3-pointers. Davis doesn't put up a whole lot of 3-pointers, so I mean, I see him dominating where he was. I think he's definitely a great play. Simmons playing point guard against Orlando. He's in a good spot, but 10,400, pretty steep. Griffin has been playing well. I mean, but he's going up against Houston. Houston's numbers against power forwards are pretty good. So I don't see myself playing him, but he's definitely in play. Aaron Gordon's in play. Of course, I like Julius Randle. I definitely like Mr. Green here and Kuzma. In the bottom tier, I like Scal here, and I like Joe Crowder for sure. Those are my two that I would definitely consider and would be in some of my lineups. Maybe even Derek Favors. After a little bit, I'll give him a second look in a little bit, but he may be in some of my lineups. And at center, I don't see anything other than if you're going to go and shoot for Mr. Embiid or Mr. Drummond, but they're in tough situations. I mean, Drummond is going up against Capella. Capella's pretty tough, and Drummond has been like really horrible as of late. He really hasn't hit value in I think 4 straight games. Embiid has also slipped a little bit, and he's playing against Mr. Vukovic. If there was no Vuk there, it's totally different, but Vukovic does definitely defend. He's a battler. So this would be an interesting game to see who's going to get the upper hand, if it's going to be Vukovic tonight or Embiid. But I thought price range had beat 11,000. I mean, that's, you got to get about 55, 56 out of him. That's a lot. That's a lot of fantasy points. I don't know if he hasn't hit that. I don't think he's hit that in the last 3 or 4 games. No, he has. Well, he did hit 52 the game before that. So yeah, he can definitely get there. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, I don't see myself playing him today. I'd rather go with Detman, and I'd rather go with a lower. Even Willie Hernan-Gomez could be a little sneaker here. Who's been playing well, and Charlotte's giving him some time. But yeah, I would think here, when it comes down to it, I would probably go Gobert out of the top tier guys. And right now, I think I'm in favor with Dwayne Detman. All the numbers look like he should have a decent game, so I'm going to stick with that. But that's it, guys. That's pretty much it. There goes your step 5. So it's Rubio, Hield, Prince, Randall, and Detman. Everybody, have some success tonight. You can hit me up on Twitter if you wanna, if you are interested in anything, you want to comment, you want to pick my brain on any other slate, because I basically play almost every little small slate. I'm not a big time. I'm not one of these shark guys that has thousands of dollars playing every single night. I'm just one of those guys that do play every single night. Been doing it for a long time, and I just like to share my advice and my ideas and what I see as the potential. But I am pretty consistent with my 300 scores or better. I do cash pretty much almost every night somewhere. And basically, as you can see, I am going to share that with you every single day if I have a cash or not. But that's basically it, guys, man. I wish everybody a lot of luck. Good luck tonight. Make some money. Again, like the video. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And at the same time, if I have any changes to this stuff 5, I will hit up on Twitter about an hour before tip with any changes. This right now looks pretty good. I don't think there might be a change, but maybe something opens up, and I might make a change later on. If I do, I will be on Twitter at Manny at DFS _zone. And again, you can also reach me at Instagram at DFS Zone. Other than that, everybody, good luck. Have a great day. God bless. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.